The following is the production of the Forgiven Kids of Africa in Uganda, and it's made possible through the generous donations of friends and partners in and outside Uganda. It's our prayer that as you listen, you'll be inspired and touched by the power of the Lord and how His grace has touched hundreds of lives of disadvantaged children in Uganda. Feel free to be part of God's ministry in Uganda. You can send us the best love offering, you can sponsor a child, or anything that God has placed on your heart. You can follow us through our Facebook page, Forgiven Kids Africa, or email us at forgivenkidsofafrica@gmail.com. Or you can call us on 256-776-941-986. May God bless you as you listen.
My name is Pastor Edward McMayer, the senior pastor of Miracle Celebration Center Churches in Uganda. Why am I saying churches? Is because we have a number of branches countrywide, but our headquarters is in Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. I'm also heading a movement which is now on TV called Ablaze Uganda Live. It is a prayer and preaching program that is harvesting souls in our nation. Now, besides that, there is also a very important ministry that I'm heading, which is the Forgiven Kids of Africa. Forgiven Kids of Africa is an organization that is taking care of orphans and needy children in Africa to the tune of 500 children. Forgiven Kids of Africa started way back in 2007, 2008. And I remember how it started. I was on a journey to South Africa by road from Uganda. And traveling from Uganda to South Africa takes you 7 days on the road. The experience I encountered in those 7 days changed my life, because I saw myself to the lowest end, and then I also saw God deliver me from the hands of the claws of the destroyer. I traveled from Uganda by road. I entered Kenya, Nairobi, then went to Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. Then from Tanzania, I boarded another bus, Tunduma, that is the border of Tanzania and Zambia. Now, when I was crossing from Tanzania to Zambia, I was cheated because there was money exchange, and the kwacha looked to be too much more than the Zambia, not knowing that it was too less in value. So in that process, the person who changed my money stole most of my money, and he left me with little that was only enough to take me to Lusaka, in the capital city of Zambia. So I headed to Lusaka with only the transport to reach me Lusaka. I didn't know how to proceed. When I reached Lusaka, I got stranded on the road, and I was wondering, what am I going to do? I have to continue to South Africa, and yet I have no money. So I had to pray to God. I said, God, you need to make a way where there is no way. Now, when I prayed that prayer, I sat on the park by the sides. From nowhere, one man comes in the park, and this man, I met him in Tanzania, where I was preaching in the church. And when he saw me, he said, hey, pastor, what are you doing here? So I told him, I'm heading, but I had narrated him what happened to me on the border in the exchange. So he was so touched. And he said, okay, pastor, I'm going to pay for you to proceed. He paid, and then I entered the bus to continue from Zambia to Zimbabwe. Along the way, we meet the immigrations. They pull us out of the bus, they check my passport. When they saw it is a Ugandan passport, they wanted me to give them something, of which I was not having finances. So they pulled me out of the bus, which was going to South Africa, and they made me to stay there. The bus left me. I sat with them there on the stone. I tried to plead with them to allow me to go, but they refused. So when the bus left me, I just sat on the stone there, and I began to pray again. When they saw me praying loud and with tears, they were so touched. First one came and said, Pastor, please forgive us. I want you to pray for my wife. My wife is sick in the house. And I said, now, God, what is this? This man has made me not to go. And now he's telling me to pray for his wife. So I realized God was trying to test me. How far can I go? Do I have a heart of forgiveness? I told him to kneel down, and I prayed for him. As I was praying for him, the other friend of his also came and joined and knelt down. He removed his cape, and I prayed for them. Now, after praying for them, they were happy. They said, Pastor, don't mind. I know the bus has left you. What we are going to do, we're going to get you another car now to help you find the other bus. A few moments, another car came. And they told the driver, please make sure this man finds his bus. It is ahead. Now, I didn't know that this car was carrying smugglers, people who buy things and they don't want to pay tax. So in the car, one of the women sits by me and he becomes friendly to me all of a sudden. But I didn't know that he was trying to befriend me so that I can help him to cross the smuggled thing by hiding in my bag so that he doesn't pay. Two people befriended me actually. That woman and a young boy who was a student who was going to Harare University. So the boy was asking me, where are you from? I told him I'm from Uganda. I said, oh, I'm your neighbor. I'm from Rwanda. I'm going to the university. When we arrived at the border, the woman gets a chunk of shoes and gives to me and says, you go with that one. So I asked him why. He said, don't go. I don't want to pay today. You help me cross the things. I told him, no, I am a Christian and I don't believe in that. And I left them. I went, I waited, I crossed, I waited for the car the other side in Zimbabwe. The car came and all the people were in. To my surprise, they told me to enter. And then I entered. They drove a distance of about a kilometer. And then they stopped. Then the driver told me, please get out. We cannot take you anymore. You refuse to help our friend, so we can also not help you. I told them, why? He said, no, we can't. We don't need. If you want us to take you, now you have to pay. I stepped out of the car. Now, as they were leaving, the boy from Rwanda said, you cannot leave this man here. And it was now dark. They told him, if he doesn't have money, we cannot take him. So he said, how much do you want? Then the man told him, 50,000 Zim dollars. He said, that is too much. He said, if he doesn't have, we will leave him. So the boy said, okay. So he pulled out money, and this boy paid for me. 50,000. Everyone was shocked in the car. Said, what? What's wrong with this boy? I was also shocked. Now I entered, I kept quiet. The boy said, don't mind, you don't care. It's okay now, let's go. Don't mind about what they say. After all, we have paid their money. I told him, thank you very much. A quarter a kilometer from there, we met a lion on the road. The lion was on the road, walking by the road. When I looked, I saw the lion, I said, whoa! The lion! The boy said, yeah, we are in a game park. They were leaving you in the game park to be devoured by lions. I said, what? What kind of heartless people are these? When he was paying, I was somehow touched, but I didn't know that it was a game park. So, when I saw the lion, that is when it's like I was waking up from the dream. And then I began to thank God for being merciful to me. I began to realize that God is a loving God, and God is a caring God. Even when you don't have someone, or like your mother, like your father, like your relative, wherever you are, God is your father, and God cares. And that moved me, and I looked at this boy not as an ordinary boy, but I saw God in him. And I knew that God is the one who moved him. Actually, he later told me that all the money that he paid was his pocket money for the entire semester in the university. So I saw that it was God working in him to save me from the wrath of the lion. So when I saw the lion, I wept. I said, God, thank you for loving me, and thank you for saving my life. So we proceeded, and we reached Harare. When we reached Harare, it was late. I asked for the nearby church, and they took me to a church belonging to Congolese. And then finally the pastor comes resentfully, said, okay, come, let's go and you stay in my house. Thank God, at least he accepted to take me in his house and gave me to sleep down on the floor in the sitting room. That night I was praying to God. I said, God, where are you? Why am I going through all this, beginning from Lusaka to Zimbabwe? Why am I going through this, Lord? That is the day I again heard God clearly speaking to me. And he told me, I want you to look at your journey very well. And I want you to understand the things that you have gone through and look at the life of orphans. You were cheated when you reached at the border of Lusaka. I want you to picture that orphans are kids that in life has cheated them, deprived them of their parents, and they are vulnerable in this world. You were treated inhumanly, or you were treated badly with the policemen on the road by pulling you out of the car just because they wanted you to pay them. And the lesson you must derive from this about the orphans is that orphans, life has cheated them, and their life is on the line. And then he said, the action that you did is what God wants you to learn, that people must always be willing to forgive. In life, forgive and move on. So teach the orphans how to forgive and to move on. Forgive those who killed their parents, forgive those who have taken them through the trauma, those who threw them out of their houses. Let them learn to forgive even themselves and forgive even God, those who blame God for their problems. And then finally, God was saying the lion was meant to eat you, but a young boy reached out and helped you. I want you to reach out and help the orphans. The orphans are exposed to things like lions that want to destroy them. So the final statement that God told me was, I have taken you through this journey for a reason. When you return back to Uganda, take care of the orphans. That is the last statement. I will never forget it. It was very clear in my mind. When you return back to Uganda, take care of the orphans. And the moment I finished to pray, I saw the pastor coming out of his bedroom, shaking. And he was like God was talking to him, or something had happened to him during my time of praying. And then he told me, Pastor, please, I'm very sorry. I am going to pay for you all your expenses until you reach Johannesburg. And I will even give you money to help you in the first 3 days in Johannesburg. I knew that God had come. And the following day he took me to the bus, paid for it, to take me up to Johannesburg, which was a distance of about 12 to 13 hours by bus. From Johannesburg, I flew back to Uganda by plane. But when I returned to Uganda, I remember those words vividly. When you return to Uganda, take care of orphans. So that was around 2007. When I came back to Uganda, I was seated, and then someone rang me and said, Pastor, there is an orphanage that is about to close here in Bujiri. If you are interested, we can give it to you. If not, we close it up. I knew that God wants me to start. So I told him, fine, we will take it up. So we took up the orphanage. I began from nothing, speaking to people, putting down small funds and all that stuff. And slowly by slowly, we began to pick up these kids from Bujiri, help them. We found them sleeping in a very bad house. We had to build a new house for them. And after we made sure that this orphanage is established, we handed it over to the administration. Before we leave this orphanage, the one in Kampala also opened up, where we began to take care of these kids. You can see Zion, you can see Jovia, you can see... These are some of the kids that we began with when they are very young, very timid. But now they have grown, they are becoming powerful, they are educated, they speak good English, they perform well in school, and they look healthy compared to the way we met them. I want to thank God so much that through that experience, He has also taught me how to love and to care for children, and to be there for them as a father, to the fatherless, and to know that their ultimate father is God, and to teach them the ways of God. From Kampala, we opened another center in Kayunga, which has 200 children. It's the biggest center in our organization. And then from Kayunga, we also got another school of orphans in Mbale, where we are taking care of about 100 kids. So basically, that is how the Forgiven Kids of Africa started. At the moment, Forgiven Kids of Africa is operating and has a lot of programs and projects. We have 500 kids, and we cannot go above that number, unless God says so and brings about more of provisions. And secondly, our motto is help an orphan and save a life. Then our slogan is every child deserves the right to a meal on the table, a coat on his back, a roof over his head, a pen in his hands, plus medication. That is our slogan. And we are fighting to fulfill that slogan. When we talk about a meal on the table, our organization is now feeding at least over 60 kids on a daily basis in Mulago under the feeding program. We know this is a small start, and we believe all the 4 centers will get this feeding program. So we want them to have food, because when kids are fed, then I believe their livelihood will change, their body, their health will be okay. And then secondly is a coat on the back, clothing them. We make sure that we provide clothing for them. A meal or a roof over his head is to make sure that they have shelter. Right now, we are involved in constructing the 4 orphanage centers in our Forgiven Kids of Africa. We finished constructing Bujiri, which is now fully operational. Now we are constructing Kampala, which is about almost finished. We're almost done. And then we will move, we move to Kayunga. Kayunga, we are doing a number of projects. We are constructing a hospital. We are constructing a school. We have constructed borehole water. We are also going to construct a home. And we have constructed a church attached to this center. And the reason why we put churches on all these centers is we want, as children grow physically, they can also be explored spiritually, to love God, to have a purpose of God in them, so that they grow up and either become people with a good mind, a good moral, and also servants of God. In Kayunga, we are doing those 3 projects. We want to welcome everyone who has a heart to help the orphans, who has a heart to help the needy kids. We welcome you. Our platform is open. We are not tied to any condition. We don't say because you are not a Christian, or because you are not this and that, you cannot help. We welcome all those who have a heart, a kind heart to help the kids. Come. Forgiven Kids of Africa is open. Come and be a blessing. You never know. The child you help today might become the future minister or the future president of Uganda. That's why we say help an orphan and save a life. No matter where you are, in the world where you are, you're welcome. Feel free to contact us on the following addresses. Our telephone number is +256 776 941 986. And then email, you can write forgivenkidsofafrica@gmail.com. forgivenkidsofafrica@gmail.com. And then the Facebook, you can also visit the kids' Facebook. The Facebook is Forgiven Kids Africa Uganda.
My name is Mogoa Ibrahim. I belong to Forgiven Kids of Africa. I used to stay in the bush. My life was not simple. It was bad. But I thank Pastor Edward Makmeya who helped me and picked me from the bush and brought me here. I thank the sponsors of Forgiven Kids of Africa. They have helped us during start time. They have paid for us school fees. We feed on our balanced diet. They told me to behave well, to be faithful, to be kindful, to be humble, and listen to the elders.
Praise God, everyone. My name is Mutumba Brian. I'm 14 years old. My father died when I was 4 years. So my mother had no help because my father was the one working. 2 years ago, my mother was passing around here. Then he had some drums. Then she asked, why are these drums doing what? Drumming. Then she came here and asked the mama who was there. Then she told her that they help the orphans. So she told her that, can I bring my son here? Then Then the mama said that you can bring him on Saturday at 2 o'clock. So my mother did it and I joined the group. But when I was still 4 years, I knew my talent how to dance, but I never knew how to explore it. But when I grew up, like 9 years in primary 5, I started exploring my talents. I've got many certificates. So even in my senior one, I've got a certificate last term. So now, the things I've got in this Forgiven Kids of Africa, the organization, I've got school fees, sponsors, and good health hygiene. Because when I was still young, I never got it. But now, I'm getting all things I want because of the mercy of God He has put on me. And another thing, I want to thank God for my pastor because he loves us so much. Not only me, but all of us. Because he provides us food, provides us everything we need, provides us clothes, takes us to countries to minister to other people and they can get saved. Like those, I've gone to many countries like Malaysia and people have got saved. So now, my pastor, I love him so much from the bottom of my heart. Not just telling it out, but from the bottom of my heart. Because he's on my heart and I love my sponsor a lot. Because she pays for me school fees, she gives me everything that I need in life. Now, I want to advise other children listening to me, those street children, those people who don't have food, that God is there. God can do everything possible. There's nothing impossible with God. God can do everything. May the Lord bless you.
Hello everybody. I'm Chamagero Jovia and I'm 14 years old. I go to school at Chitanteyu School and I joined Forgiven Kids of Africa when I was 6 years. At that age, I was in primary 2 at Rosa Kindergarten. When I joined Forgiven Kids of Africa, first I liked it because I wanted to be a known person, and I wanted to serve the Lord with all my heart. And when I knew about Forgiven Kids, that it was all about serving God, I felt I was happy, and that's why I pressed my mom to bring me here. Forgiven Kids, I have spent in Forgiven Kids of Africa from 2007. When I was in primary 2, I was very young by that time. I couldn't do anything on my own. That's when I first experienced how teachers train children, how they learn how to dance, how they learn everything. I started bringing up my talent because I didn't know that I can sing, I didn't know that I can dance. But when I joined Forgiven Kids of Africa with the support of my teachers, I experienced that I was a good dancer. I experienced that I had a good voice, and that's why I like Forgiven Kids of Africa, because it has brought up my talents. And another thing, Forgiven Kids of Africa, in my heart I love it because that's when I got a chance to travel abroad and come out of Uganda, go visit other countries that I had no dream that I will go there. I went to Malaysia, Hong Kong. I experienced good things. I had many friends. I got a sponsor, and I can't tell it all because Forgiven Kids of Africa is part of my life, and I thank God for bringing it to me. Because if it wasn't it, I couldn't have experienced all the things I did. When I went on my first flight, I was scared and I was even afraid of leaving my parents behind. But when I reached there, I just took it as anything, as usual, as I usually think. And I started cooperating with my fellow members. that's when I learned that I can live without my parents. And Forgiven Kids has blessed me with many things. I have many things from Forgiven Kids of Africa. Many people ask me where I get them, but I have them because of Forgiven Kids of Africa. I have a very good experience from Forgiven Kids of Africa, being that I'm a dancer. I can dance, I can sing, and that's all because of Forgiven Kids of Africa. And if it wasn't that, I couldn't have been like this as I am. I'm not proud. I'm a girl who can understand every situation, and I want God to use me that I can take my talent to every person in this world. First of all, Forgiven Kids of Africa helped me to minister the Lord, and Forgiven Kids of Africa has helped me to create awareness for the African child. I believe that every disadvantaged child that is outside there, when he or she is not in Forgiven Kids of Africa, I pray to God that he or she may find a place like Forgiven Kids of Africa. It's a good place that everyone can live, a good society that everyone can associate with you. And Forgiven Kids of Africa has helped me to associate with others, because if it wasn't it, I don't know how I could have lived. I have learned many things from the kids, my fellow kids. My trainers have supported me in everything I do, and everything. The society has led me to many people, to meet many people that I couldn't see, like that I couldn't have seen before. It's my prayer that every child who is disadvantaged, that God may help him or her get a place where he can find the truth that God is there.
My name is of Chisachi Zion, and I'm a Forgiven Kid of Africa. I'm 14 years and I go to school at Chitente Hills School, and I'm in senior 3. I joined Forgiven Kids when I was in primary 2. It was very hard because we were very few children and we were still young. We had a trainer who used to teach us like Sunday school songs. But then we were very still young. Even our pastor, we had not yet known him that much. I remember so many people, some of them went because they did not believe that we could become a very big group. They said that we are going to remain where we were. But fortunately, God answered our prayers through our pastor, who's called Pastor Edward McMahon. I've seen many things changing in Forgiven Kids of Africa. At first, we used to sing Sunday school songs, we used to pray from different churches, and our trainer, who was called Aunt Maureen, would ask us that who of us has any song to sing, and we'll bring different songs to sing as the choir. But as time went on, we started getting other trainers. We got a trainer who was called Sister Catherine. By then, that time, our pastor had told us that one day or one time in a year, he was going to take us outside countries. Though we were very few in number, he still encouraged us to move on, not to lose hope. I was in P7 in my vacation when we were told that we were going to the camp. When we went to the camp, we didn't know what was going to happen. As we were in the camp training, our pastor came and told us that in that vacation we are going to Malaysia. We were really very happy. We were all brought here at the center at Mulago, and we packed all our things and we said goodbye to our parents. When we reached Malaysia, everything was new because it has so many wonderful cities and very wonderful people, big churches, beautiful scenes, good beaches. When we reached, we were welcomed by a pastor, and he took us to his home. We stayed there for a short time and started moving to different places like Kuala Lumpur, which is the main city in Malaysia, and then performing in different churches. When we danced, I remember all of us got sponsors. We saw even other people, other children who are in Malaysia, who are orphans. We went to their centers and encouraged them not to lose hope. And we helped them to stand. Although they don't have parents, but they at least got that encouragement. We went to Hong Kong. And after that, we came back to Uganda. But as time went on, we were encouraged by our pastor. I really like him so much because he's the man who gives words of encouragement to other children or any other person. The same in Senior 2, we were told that we had another trip. They had invited us in Malaysia, and so we had to go back. When we reached there, this time we visited very different places from the others. They really catered for us. My dear pastor, I love you so much. I really care about you because for all the good things you have done for me, I cannot really pay you in any way. But instead of thanking you, because you're lovely pastor and a caring pastor, you really care for us as the Forgiven Kids of Africa. And in that case, you have even built for us a big home for us as the Forgiven Kids. You really have a good heart to care about the children who don't have parents or guardians. I really love you so much, and may God bless you for what you have really done for us.
My name is Chirabo Priscilla. I have 12 years old and I'm in Forgiven Kids of Africa. I joined this group when I have 3 years old. I was in baby class. It was very nice because we went in outside countries like Malaysia, Hong Kong, and many others. We were here when we were still young, singing. They brought a train and we started dancing. You should be a God-fearing person and you have to behave well. Come and join this group so that they can get better education and life.
Hi, my name is Napia Sandra. I'm in Form 3. I'm 16 years old. I'm at Chitante Hill School. I joined Forgiven Kids when I was in P1. I was lost, I lost hope, but when our pastor came, he finds me when I was sad. Then he picked me from where I was because I didn't have any hope. No one could help me, no one could give me any kind of eat. No one could pay my fees. Then the pastor told us that he's going to open up the Forgiven Kids of Africa to help the orphan children. I was like a street girl because I used to stay with my mom, but she didn't have any money to pay for my fees, to buy food for me, clothing. But when they opened up Forgiven Kids of Africa, I was glad. Then I said to God, thank you for this because they are going to help me right now. I used to cry a lot. I had many sorrows, but this Forgiven Kids of Africa helped me so much. Then I started to go back to school to study. They paid for me fees. They bought for me clothing. They gave me food to eat like others. They welcomed me as a child. Pastor treated me as his own child. Then afterwards, I went on studying with everything. I got everything I need: medical care, education, shelter, where to stay. Then the time came, they elected me as a leader because I was the older one. I'm the group leader and the costume server. Then it reached a time when I was in Senior 1. They set us a trip that we are going outside the country to shine the light of God, to say that God has helped us from down up to here we are. Then when we went outside there, I was like in a dream because I didn't know that I would be going there outside the country to shine the light of God. Then when we went there, we started to sing our songs. Some of them were sad, others were the happiness because of the light our pastor sheltered to us. We were happy, everyone was happy. We got the sponsors who helped us right now. I'm happy because everything here, it's nice. I didn't hope that I will get this shelter because my life was bad. But now I'm happy and I will praise God much and I will worship Him because He has helped me in everything I need, education, protection. It's not because of me or anyone else, but because of God, everything is possible in the life. Here we are like one person, because even if someone gets a problem, anyone can help. That's why God gave us mercy, favor, everything, so that we can help others. And I'm happy because I'm the leader of the group. Everyone, I can understand someone is in tension, someone is pain. When someone is in pain, I can talk to her or anyone. I can say that even if you're sad, but God is on our side. You can pass in everything you are. The life was different, but now we are happy because we started from down. Everyone was talking like, no, they can't help these children, what? But in God's mercy, everything can be possible. I learned to be kind, to love others as I love myself. Even if someone is my enemy, I can use him to be my friend. Our pastor has taught us everything, to be merciful and peaceful, faithful. Even if someone has annoyed me, I can forgive. I learned how to forgive others because other children who are like me, I'm telling you, don't lose hope. Be faithful in any situation you are. Be courage enough so that you can pass in this situation because it's not easy. I know God can send someone to help others like me because I didn't know that I'll get such a life, but God is on their side. He will send someone to help them. And I pray that they can get what they need. And I know that it's not easy, but to trust God, He's our guide, protector in everything. They don't lose their hope. I want them to be happy as me. Even if they are sad, but they can kneel down and pray to God so that God can help them, send them someone to help them. I don't want them to lose their hope. I want them to be happy. I pray that God can help those.
Praise God. My name is Mabonga David. I am in the Forgiven Kids of Africa. I'm 12 years old. My school is Rosa Kindergarten and Primary School. I came in Forgiven Kids in 2012, and I thank my pastor who helped me from other places where I was. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, but I thank my pastor who brought me here. And I thank all Forgiven Kids. They have trained me how to dance. I am good at dancing because of Forgiven Kids of Africa. When we are outside in Uganda, we went to the beach and we enjoyed life. We went to the beautiful churches and we praised God and we worshiped God and we ate. I want to see Forgiven Kids. Forgiven Kids, I want to see them when they have gone far away. They have traveled all the nations. I love my pastor, Pastor Edward McMayer, because for what he have done for me, I thank him. I love him with all my heart. I thank him, our pastor.
My name is Suna Julius. I am 14 years. I study from Samsung Primary School. My pastor is called Pastor Edward McMayer. He's a good pastor. He creates Forgiven Kids of Africa, the orphanage. It is a good orphanage because he provides with us food, he helps us to provide school fees, and he takes us outside the country to perform with whites and improve on our welfare. I joined Forgiven Kids in 2007. I want to see a very building here when we have a flat house. And our pastor, when we are outside the country with our supporters, I tell my pastor that I love him so much because he has provided for me school fees and I study well. Now I'm in P7 since I studied schooling, and my pastor is a good pastor. I love him so much.
Thank you for listening to these testimonies. We hope you are blessed, and we pray that you continue with us on our journey to bring total healing to this hurting world. Follow us through our Facebook page, Forgiven Kids of Africa Uganda, or you can email us at forgivenkidsofafrica@gmail.com, or you can call us on 256 776 941 986.